Okay, this is part 2 of my bookcase tour, which so far has been sort of shaky and yeah, anyway. So in my first video I showed you 2 of my bookcases, and this is the 3rd one that's also in my bedroom. So I'm just going to get started. On the top of this one is just a clock that my roommate had that I said I liked, so he gave it to me. It doesn't work. Well, it works, but it needs to be plugged in, and there isn't an outlet up there. Anyway. Okay, on the top of this shelf is my Jim Butcher Harry Dresden series. I really wish I had them all either in hardback or softcover, but since I got all of them off of eBay and half.com, that was not possible. So, but I do have the entire series. So, and then over here I have my George Carlin section, which I don't know if I've ever talked about the fact that I'm a huge George Carlin fan on my channel, but I am. I love him. And this is most of his stand-up specials. This was his last stand-up special. And then this is 3 of his books, followed by his sort of semi-biography that came out after he passed away. So, down here I've got all of my Neil Gaiman stuff. Unfortunately you can't really see them very well because of the way the crappy lighting is in this room. But, oh, sorry for my finger. You've got The View from the Cheap Seats, Trigger Warnings, Smoke and Mirrors, Fragile Things. These are all short stories and or nonfiction. And then his novels are Stardust, Neverwhere, 2 copies of Neverwhere. This is actually the illustrated version, which is so pretty, that I had to get from Book Depository. It's so awesome. Then The Ocean at the End of the Street, or the End of the Lane, Coraline, The Graveyard Book, Nancy Boy's Good Omens, which is one of my favorite books of all time, American Gods, which I've been reading for approximately a year, and I've only made it halfway through. It's not that I don't like it, it's just a very difficult book to try and focus on because there's so much going on. And next to that I have my Maggie Stiefvater Raven Boys series, which I have yet to read, followed by the Scorpio Races, and this is the British version. I absolutely freaking love. I love that cover. It's probably one of my all-time favorite covers of any book ever. Next to that is the Bronze Horseman trilogy, which these books, or this book in particular, the first one, it probably warrants a video all on its own for many reasons. I'm not going to get into my thoughts on these books. Anyway. Okay, next shelf, I have some V.E. Schwab books. And again, I have the two British versions of A Gathering of Shadows and A Darker Shade of Magic because they're pretty. Then next to that, I have The Midnight Plan of the Repo Man by W. Bruce Cameron. And the reason I have them next to the rest of these books is because they're kind of all in the same vein of wacky comedy books. Which brings me to the rest of my shelf. And since the first book in the series starts over here, I have all the Tim Dorsey books, except for his latest one. So I go all the way from Florida Roadkill to Sharkskin Suit. And I don't have his latest Coconut Cowboy simply because I was trying to wait until it came out on paperback in December. But since I already have hardbacks of a couple of the books because that's all I could find, I might just go ahead and buy the hardback. And then he has another book coming out in January, so that makes me happy. I will do a video about how much I've fallen in love with this crazy series, which is about it's about the state of Florida, and it's about this guy named Serge Storms, who is very charming, kind of OCD, and has a lot of issues. One of them being the fact that he has killed a lot of people. So he's kind of like Dexter meets Robin Williams. If you can wrap your mind around that. Because he's extremely charming and very funny and lovable, but he also happens to kill a bunch of people, but he only kills bad people. So, yeah. Okay. Alright, this is kind of a random shelf. Again, I have 2 books by Joe Hill down here, followed by the Neverwhere series by Kelly Cray. I read the last book, very disappointed in the last book, which was Oblivion. Followed by An Ember in the Ashes by Saba Tahir, and Torch Against the Night, which I have not read the second book yet, but the first book I loved. Okay. And then down here I have my Rainbow Rowell stuff. Very happy to have the special edition of Fangirl because it's one of my favorite books. And again, bottom shelf, kind of random. That's the red edition of the Twilight series, followed by the ordinary boring version of the Harry Potter books. And sitting on top of that, for some unknown reason, is my... I have no reason. I have no explanation as to why that's there, but there you go. Okay, you guys. So that pretty much does it. Those are my bookshelves. My kind of messy looking bookshelves. But I love them, and I feel so much better now that I am surrounded by my favorite thing in the world, which are books. So I thought I would finally share them with you. So, again, I will talk with you later, guys. Sorry for the shakiness. And, yeah. Until next time, you guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I will talk with you later. Bye!